Hi, and welcome to Serenity Now, a place for entrepreneurs to ask questions, learn, get connected, and be inspired. Join us as we talk about all things business and the search for the ever-elusive Serenity Now in both business and personal life.
Welcome to another episode of Serenity Now for entrepreneurs. Well, this one's going to be a little bit different. Guys, I just want to let you know this is going to be our final episode. After 5 years of working on this beautiful legacy project, we've made the decision to kind of summarize and finalize this up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'll let you know who we've got here today. Myself, Rita Kim. And I've got our co-host, Candace, welcome, and Peggy. And we also have someone that's been in the background for a long time that you kind of knew about but didn't really know. And it's Robert, who's our chief editor for the last 4 years. Robert, welcome. So we started off with a little more of us, and then throughout the last couple of years, things happened and things changed. We never started this podcast for a work project. It was started during a time of uncertainty during COVID. And, we just wanted to create a safe place for entrepreneurs where we could share stories, real stories. That was one big word that we like to use, was sharing real stories. Maybe be vulnerable, maybe give some inspiration, some connections, some resources, because we weren't going out anymore. That was a little bit of how it started, guys.
Definitely was a passion project.
I think we were like a resource for each other too. Actually, I remember feeling like more connected after we had those episodes. So
it was definitely somewhere where we could collaborate and talk about things that we learned and hopefully share what we learned and help others maybe not have the pitfalls that we had.
That was pretty much the key.
Lots of years of knowledge, especially at the beginning when there were 6 of us when we started. There are lots of years of knowledge, that's for sure.
Well, we still have some good years of knowledge here, Candace, but yeah.
All together, sharing all at once, right? It was pretty amazing. We had some pretty interesting conversations. I think my favorite episode of all time was the one, and I think Peggy, you suggested this episode, was the discussion about the no asshole rule. I still think about that.
I think that one was our most viewed podcast, and it probably was everybody's favorite because it was such a cool topic to begin with, actually. It was someone saying something that we all thought out loud.
Yeah, I think that's when we started to have a bit more fun together, right? Peggy, you came up with, they're like, hey, let's just break this open. And here's an article. So we all read the article, and then we just shared moments of...
when we were assholes.
Yeah, I guess we can say that again.
My other favorite one was the F word ones with Shawnee, the Olympic coach.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that woman is very inspiring. And I just found her approach, like, I was just so enlivened. After I talked to her, I felt like I could go play in the Olympics or something. But she was such a cool lady, like so much to offer her students or her kids that she coached.
Well, like those 2 episodes represent why we did this, right? One, to actually say things out loud that maybe we haven't been saying out loud, and then actually talk through it and actually tell ourselves, and this is who we are, and maybe we don't like everything about who we are, and learn and grow from it. The second part was to get inspired. And, a lot of our guests, including Shawnee, were people that inspired us. And one of the other episodes that I quite enjoyed was with Kasha, the naughty cowgirl. Like, Kasha just fell in love with that girl and, her life and her story, and, talking about vulnerability and resilience. And that's one of the exact reasons why we started this, was to say it's okay.
What about you, Robert?
I like the naughty cowgirl one. Looking at it from a marketing perspective in terms of knowledge, because there's a lot of knowledge in this podcast, especially for someone kind of on the outside listening in. So I know maybe some of you are familiar with those people, but hearing about these people for the first time, she basically took a generational business and kind of flipped it using things like the location of her business and a little bit of wordplay. And I think she had a stat in here. I pulled it up because I was interested. 2.5 million people drive past my store each year. The name makes 80% of them turn around. I want to talk about business. That's brilliant. Like, she nailed it.
It is brilliant. How do you get that kind of traffic otherwise, right?
Yeah. So I found that as sort of her story to go with it, and just the way it all kind of panned out and the moves she made and how she got herself to do it and change it. It was a great entrepreneurial story.
Yeah. I think one of the big parts too is she was very honest about her vulnerability. And even coming to the other side of it, still not feeling, like she's there, just like a lot of us do, right? That whole fake it till you make it stuff, right? That we've never lived, right? Yeah.
Totally lived that.
I think we did a whole episode on that, maybe.
I think we did. Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
I also like Deborah's story. It's an interesting one too.
Candace, what about you? Which ones come to mind?
Mostly the no asshole one. And I really liked, our first guests were those girls that did the
the
composting. Yeah, those they were really great. And we had them on a couple times. It was great to see them at the beginning and then partway through. And I like those kinds of stories.
The end of that story is that the city of Kamloops did come out with a composting program, and it did kill their business. Sad ending to the story. Although they saw it coming, they did.
Yeah, no, there's lots of gems of practical advice and a little bit, like all aspects of somebody in being self-employed. There's a little bit there for somebody to maybe not solve their problems, but maybe put them on the right path to solving their problems. So hopefully those episodes are resources for people for years to come.
I think part of why we did this was to give someone who runs a business, who has no one really to talk to, someone to listen to. If you can't have a colleague to talk to when you're the head of a business and you've got a few employees or maybe no employees, it's a lonely path. And by listening to the stories that we have and maybe identifying with a few of the issues that we bring up, it gives you someone that you can identify with. And I think as a business owner myself, I found at times, that it was very lonely. It was me and some employees, or it was me and a couple colleagues. Having that ability to hear the stories that make me feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm going through. I think that that's a really important thing for business owners, especially in a very small business where there really isn't anyone to talk to.
Yeah, the resources are small and the money is small. So to get resources is hard. And yeah.
And time is limited, right? And yeah, so all of those pieces.
Having listened to all of them and sort of more than once, the vulnerabilities, they kept coming out in different ways. It's almost like even people that have been doing it a long time or are established still bring up some of their vulnerabilities, still have those same insecurities at times. I mean, I look at, for example, Julietta had a great story. Safina from Form Collective, they went into some of their vulnerabilities. Somehow it's as far ahead as you think somebody may be. It's a reminder that they still go through some of those same things, perhaps at a different level or for a different reason. But it's a good reminder to everybody that, being an entrepreneur still puts you in that same boat, just, in a different part of the process, or you're on a different path than somebody else, but you're still on a path and feel that pain at times.
I think I remember one episode where we were talking about what's our normal. And I remember, Candace, you had this epiphany. Do you remember that episode where you had that epiphany where you couldn't reconcile what everybody else was calling normal?
Yes, to what my reality was, what felt right for me, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. And then it was more like the epiphany and then saying it out loud that, hey, your normal might be, 8 to 4, but my normal is not that. And I'm okay with my normal, and we're all okay to find our own normal and kind of, thrive in it. So that was a big thing. I remember that moment and smiling and going, that's right. I guess I'm not the regular normal. And what you were saying, Robert, and Candace and Peggy, it's being able to connect with these stories that we're learning, the resources that came on, that we're not alone, And it's sometimes really hard. It's sometimes really hard because you do feel quite alone. You have to make all those decisions. And you're right, when it's a smaller company, or even if it's a larger company, everybody's looking up to you to have every answer at the exact moment you need the answer. no, no guessing, no nothing. And you have to know it all. And we've kind of said it's okay to not have it all, to not know it all. And that's where you can break out and find other connections and resources.
But you know what? Even if you tell your employees that you don't know everything, they don't believe you. And when you say something, they take it as gospel, even though when you go, I think this, and they're like, okay, well, that must be what that is. And it's like, no, you need to go confirm.
We were just having a talk about it. And I was just stop.
We're spitballing here.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone's listened to every episode, so we're talking about all the different ones, and you may not be able to catch it all because you haven't listened to all of them. But at the very, very beginning, this was not supposed to happen. This podcast business was not supposed to actually happen. We were coming together to say, how can we help our fellow entrepreneurial ecosystem and community? And I had suggested, great, these amazing people, like you said, Candace, 6 women, great experience, years and years and years. Let's put it together into a book. That was the start of the discussion. And then somehow it led to this very, very, very interesting thing called a podcast.
Part of it was COVID hit. And for one, to get people to actually put things down in writing, not everybody is a writer. So we were seeing at the time, really poor quality video on TV. Remember? We were seeing Skype or Zoom or whatever on TV. And I thought, if they can put that crap on TV, then we can certainly do a podcast on Teams or somewhere like that, because we can certainly talk. I don't know if everybody here can sit down and write something, and nobody seemed to be able to find the time to do that, but we can talk and we can record it on a lesser medium, and it would still be acceptable, because look what they're putting on television. Do you remember when COVID hit? All of a sudden we went from professionally video programs to, blinking screens and Zoom calls and all kinds of crud on TV. And that's why we thought it would be acceptable. And we did it on Teams at first, and it was a really poor quality sound until Jen got us organized onto a better platform. But the idea was to get fast forward to get there. We needed to get this information out there. I think it's turned out to be a wonderful thing. And I keep telling my kids when I'm dead, if you want to listen to me, just look at a podcast.
I've said the same thing.
Bit of a legacy.
Going back to what you were saying, Peggy, actually, Robert opened that up again because I forgot. I forgot where we were sitting when we started, right, Robert? We were just chatting about this. Yeah. So remember how you were saying, podcasting was so new, right?
Yeah, there was a time when podcasting was kind of getting going, and it wasn't easy to break through because nobody really knew what it was. And it was this new concept. But if you fast forward now 5 or 6 years, it's recommended that everybody has a podcast. And when that happens, now you've got podcasts all over the place. And now there's a lot of noise. So you really have to work hard to figure out who to listen to. And so you can pick and choose. But before, as you mentioned, back to your sort of mission, when there was less information out there, it was so vital that people put information out there just for everybody. The hard part was getting started, just like anything, just like entrepreneurship, getting your face out there when you're not used to getting your face out there. Again, before COVID and Zoom, it wasn't normal to sit on a computer and speak with somebody. It became normal, but so the people that sort of did it first definitely paved the way for everybody else to follow. And now it's become common, but I really appreciate those that, kind of paved the way and made it easy for people like me to just show up now and speak because it's normal. Just like anything else, when you're starting a business, going out on your own, when it's not normal and people are saying, what are you doing? It's just one more pressure on top of the whole process.
I remember recording one of our first episodes, and I was trying to tell the family, because we're recording at home. And I said, hey, we're recording a podcast. And they just died laughing. They're like, what are you talking about? You don't have a podcast, because it was so out there. It was so different. And yeah, we actually did it. We did.
We did 5 years, you guys.
5 years.
And when I talked to some of these podcast promoters and whatnot over the years, most podcasts don't last more than 5 episodes. If you can get past 5 episodes, we did over 60 episodes, you guys. Pat ourselves on the back. It's a lot of content. It's a lot of good material. And we have a little bit of a legacy here, and it will outlive us. And for that, I think we should all be very proud. I figured we did about 12 a year for 5 years, so it could be that we did more. But
we have 77. We're recording one now, and there's one going to be posted. So all told, there'll be 79 of them.
Holy.
look at us go. So well done, ladies.
Wow. 5 years. I wanted to take a moment out and acknowledge, everyone else that has been involved in it, but one key person that we didn't really acknowledge throughout the years, which is Robert. So behind the scenes, Robert has been editing for 4 years. So all the posts that you see, all the narration, that's all him. That's his hard work and his special secret ability that he's got to be able to take
secret sauce.
Yeah, secret sauce. He's got this ability and this knack to take your information and drill it down into something that actually sounds really good, even if it fully isn't, but sounds good and really interesting. And so I wanted to say thank you, Robert, for doing all of that. You showed up because you believed in the mission, you believed in us. And I just wanted to start the thank yous, but also give you a chance to talk.
A big part of this process for myself was also learning. How do we learn? We read, we listen, we rewrite it, right? It's the thing you learn in school, and it works, and it really does. And I believed in the mission. I believed in the content. I learned a ton. I had access to you all for more information if I needed it. If I could learn from it, I believe that everyone else could learn from it. I tried to put things into words that would, draw other people in to also listen to this good information. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity, but don't underestimate that it was also beneficial to myself by taking in the information and rewriting it and kind of ingraining it in my brain. So it will be with me forever.
Robert, you were so consistent. You were so effective. And sometimes we weren't the best partners. And I really, really do appreciate that you held us together at times. And a great job. A really great job.
Thank you. It's a team. It's a team effort. And everyone has their strength. You took the time to interview people and find guests. That's not easy either. Organizing a bunch of people and getting them on, especially these days, on the call at the same time is not easy. So everyone had their role. My role was maybe to keep it together in some way.
You did.
Without the information, there's no podcast. So there's no me, no writing. So it worked all around. And at the end of the day, I think the mission was met. The information, as you said, will outlive you. It'll always be there. And now moving forward with, the AI and transcriptions and all the rest, it's just going to amplify it. It's not going to go away. It's just going to amplify it. It'll pop up in LLMs. It'll be around. The information will be around. It'll live forever.
Good or bad. Good or bad, it'll be around forever. So we started with the thank yous. And so I'd also like to say thank you to Jen, who's our producer, another person that had to herald and bring all of us Serenity sisters together many a time.
I can't imagine that was a serene job.
She didn't get any Serenity Now.
You didn't make it easy on anyone. Sorry. I'm sorry for everyone who was around us.
Oh, that's terrible. But thank you, Jen. We actually had quite a number of sponsors over the last 5 years. I don't think I can name them all, but maybe we'll add some notes and say our thank yous there. But I probably can't name them all, and I just don't want to miss any naming someone either. That's maybe the bigger piece. But a huge thank you to everyone, again, who believed in us and sponsored us, because this was a legacy project, a passion project. This was not something that we monetized on, although we definitely really got a lot out of it, I think, each of us. And then a huge thank you to the guests. A lot of our guests, when we called them, they said, "What? You want me to do what?" Like, so we had to be like podcast pushers and stuff, like to say, come join us, you can do it. So we had to coach.
It's easy.
In fairness, guys, we did make it easy. The format that we learned very, very quickly. We learned how to format it in such a way that it was a conversation and it wasn't staged. It was very natural and it was full of flaws and it was full of humor. And honestly, you guys, like, it was like we knew what we were doing. Just saying.
Imagine that.
We did not know what we were doing, but we made it sound like we knew what we were doing.
But we sure did template it down pretty good. We really did build that process in, and I really quite enjoyed it. But then we also had like our superstars, Jen and Robert, to make it better, to just package it up and with a bow. We got over the last 5 years communication and feedback from our listeners. So thank you to our listeners.
Keep listening. There's lots of nuggets in here. Honestly, I wish someone had handed me this when I was starting business, because there's so much stuff in here that we've talked about that we hoped to touch on those things that you couldn't read about. We hope to touch on the things that were unwritten, the things that were untold, the things that you had to learn only by experience. And if we can give you that, I think we've done our job. Yeah,
I think I remember you actually saying it's all the stuff you're not going to learn in business school or business books. It's everything else. And that's, come here for that. That's the way we had put it. And yeah. So I guess, did we do the thank yous? I'm going to say a huge thank you to my Serenity sisters who stayed. There was some that we started with, and it's okay. It's okay, because we had all agreed at the beginning that this was not supposed to be a make work project. That was not the goal of this. We wanted to be able to give back, share, like you said earlier, as part of our legacy, in hopes that you can learn from some of the stuff that we've done and maybe not make those mistakes. And I'm sure you'll make your own, but hoping that even if you do fall into one of those pits, you can get out of it faster.
Or at least know you're not alone.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really, really important part of the process, is to understand that it's not a direct line from starting to success, that there's lots of trips on the way, and we've all done it. And we've all gone through it, and you are not alone.
A big, huge thank you to Candace, who I just picked up the phone and called one day and say, hey, and she's like, okay, maybe I can try this.
If I'd only known what I was getting into, right?
Thank God you didn't. So that's great.
It's been very fulfilling. It's been very fun. And
I made new connections. I made connection with Peggy and Robert and Stephanie and Nina that I never would have made if I'd not participated. So I'm grateful for those relationships. So.
Yeah. Same here. So, so I guess we're at that place. Is there any other last pieces, like final thoughts? Because we can go into what we do at the end of typically our regular episodes, which is a quick fire. I don't know how you do a quick fire and think of one thought over 5 years of hard work. I don't know how to do that. I was actually dreading this second when I brought this up, going, okay, so let's give it to somebody else first.
I'm just going to say thank you to guests, sponsors, Serenity sisters, production staff, everybody. Like, just thank you for 5 great years. It's been a great project, and I've grown through it. So thank you.
I'm going to say ditto. And I'm going to add that if there's anything that we've done, we've left a bit of a legacy. I kind of like the idea that when I'm gone, my kids can listen to my voice. Hopefully they learn something.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity. You sort of took a chance on me at the beginning. You didn't give me much negative feedback. You've encouraged me to go out and do my own thing, which I've done. I've started Outflow Content Studio to continue writing and doing it for other people. And that's, partially inspired by listening to all of you and working on this and taking some chances here. So my sort of trajectory just beginning. This is a big part of the beginning. And I hope we can check back in 10 or 15 years and I can provide you with some great news on that.
Oh, geez. How do I say anything else? I guess, am I allowed to say ditto as well to everything you guys said? We came together to be able to share, to connect with one another, and then hopefully be able to give that sharing and connection in the stories and inspiration to others as well. I think, like you guys have said, I think we've met the mission. I think we've created something here. Don't know where it will end up, But yeah, maybe the kids will listen to our voices later. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the only time they listen. But I do want to say thank you. It has been it's been a great joy, but I tell you, it was really tough to start this whole idea and concept of just start talking. So it gave me the courage to get out of a comfort zone and to show up. And in every episode, I remember feeling, what are we going to do? What are we going to say? What am I going to say? How do we not sound, crazy? And then every episode, it just came together. It just came together, and I learned each time. I recall some of the episodes, we listened to it after the fact. They're like, hey guys, we sound good.
I remember thinking that, wow, we actually sound like we know what we're doing.
I think we have Jen to thank for that.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to my beautiful Serenity sisters, the ones that we started with. A shout out to Nina, shout out to Steph as well. Thank you for the contributions. Thanks for the fun. Thanks for the learning. Thanks for this incredible journey. 5 years. Wow. Well, I guess this is it. Any last things to say before we sign off, guys?
I wish everybody some serenity. Even if they can't get it from us, I hope they get it from somewhere.
Peggy?
That's it. Thank you for listening. Onward and upward.
Yeah, Robert?
Same thing. We're moving forward. We're still going forward, just on a different path.
That's beautiful, guys. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for the fun, the insights, the inspiration, and the joy. And we hope that you can find some serenity now. Thanks, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and picked up some good tips and best practices that would benefit your entrepreneurial journey. Remember, none of the content in this podcast should be relied upon as standard legal or business advice. Always consult a professional for your specific business. You may know someone who could benefit from this podcast. Please share it with your business community, and perhaps it can give an entrepreneur you know some serenity now.